hate Kelowna. I really, going back, I just remember I've lived my worst life there. You know, it's crazy. I was in a bar and I was thinking about it, and I was like, I've puked in every bar in Kelowna, like 1,000%, to the point where I have like memories of it. Like I was in a bar and I was like, oh my god, this is the bar where I puked on my friend's shoulder, and then he puked, and then the bouncer gagged. I almost started like a chain reaction. I walked by this place. It used to be called Level Nightclub. Yeah. I remember one time I was at Level Nightclub and I was so drunk I was talking to a girl, and as I was talking to her, I puked in my hand, threw it in the ground, kept talking to her. And yeah, she thought I was sick. She called the police on me. Which, it is crazy to do that, but I feel like nowadays to do that is like almost an Andrew Tate level alpha move. Where it's like, you want to show you're a man, what you do is you puke in your hand, you put it in your pocket, and then you fuck the girl. You put the steak in your ass, you eat it with your ass. The worst one though, the worst time was, one time I was so drunk I was at the Liquid Zoo strip club. Yeah. Hell yeah. I was at the Liquid Zoo strip club, I was so drunk, I was in the bathroom and I was peeing in the urinal. And as I was peeing in the urinal, I started to puke in the urinal. And then there's like a guy in there that sells gum, and he just like watched the whole thing. I didn't want to get kicked out for being too drunk, so I lied to him. I was like, oh man, this is my first time seeing naked chicks. Gross, you know? Not for me. Which is a crazy lie. Be like, I'm not drunk, I'm gay. Living in Toronto now, people are like, it's fucking crazy. People are crazy in Toronto. Like even like homeless people are nuts. They go crazy. But one of my last memories of Kelowna, I was walking down the street and I walked past this guy who had a cigarette hanging out of his mouth, and he was like, "Hey buddy, you got a light?" And I was like, "I'm sorry, I don't have a lighter. I don't smoke cigarettes." And he was like, "Fuck off." And then he took out a lighter, lit his own cigarette. Like, who is this master of tricks? It's like, hey, do you have any change, kid? And he throws a debit card in the air. Daddy's plastic. Older homeless man, daddy. Nope. You're a different type of guy in Toronto, I'll tell you that much. I remember I was outside in line in Toronto, and there was this crazy guy, and he was screaming. But everything he was screaming, I agreed with. Like he was holding a pigeon like a microphone. He was like, ah, ah, racism is bad. And everybody was like, hell yeah. Hell yeah. And then he was like, ah, ah, sexism? Not on my watch. Like, okay. And then he was like, ah, COVID was made in a bingo machine. And we agreed with everything else he said, so we were like, fucking, maybe. What's a bingo machine? And then someone was like, hey, let go of the pigeon. And he went, oh yeah? And he whipped it, and it flew away, and we were like, that might be God. Came back, $20 bill in his mouth. Woo! A woman dead on the side. Tax her. Not the best. Take the bus. Woo! Anyone else? All right, have a good night. The only guy that takes the bus. Yeah, but you can take the bus and Penticton if you get your license removed because you did something so bad. Dude, I was on the bus in Toronto, and I was standing on the bus, and this guy came up next to me, and he nudged me, and he was like, and I was just like, thank you, sir, back at you. And then he nudged me harder, and I was like, I was like, oh my God, is someone like masturbating on the bus or something? And then he whispered in my ear, and he was like, your fly's undone. Like, this is flies undone. Like, how horny is that guy that this is flies undone? Like, he's going around the city being like, hey, your backpack's open. So, rolls back. Spits out your item. See? That's why.